Most of you watching this video right now will never achieve the life that you actually want to live, not because you're not capable, not because you're not talented, not because of your circumstances, your situation, where you're from, how you were raised. It's none of those things. Most of you will never achieve your goals and dreams and the life that you actually want because you've trained yourself every single day for years to not achieve that very life that you claim that you want. And without a conscious intervention on the patterns and the programming that are running your life on autopilot right now, nothing will ever change. Hey, my name is Brandon Burns. As you already know, every day means every day. And in this video, I just want to talk a little bit about how you are probably falling victim to this process that so many people do, and you probably don't even realize it. Now, let me explain something. Your brain is trainable. It's just like an AI model. It's like ChatGPT. If you tell ChatGPT every single day for 100 days in a row, hey, I want you to respond to me this way, eventually it's going to respond that way and that way only, and it won't even think about the idea of, oh, maybe I should respond a different way. Your mind is exactly the same thing, okay? I'll give you a quick example. There's this thing in the middle of your head called periaqueductal gray matter. It's just a general name for the middle of your head region in the brain, right? And the circuitry for the fear response runs straight through the middle of your head, straight through that periaqueductal gray matter. And that circuit can be myelinated, or in other words, strengthened, whenever you feel fear. I'm not talking about deep, innate, instinctive fear, like you see a snake and you're like, oh, shoot, I should probably go the other way. Not that kind of fear. I'm talking about anxiety. I'm talking about things that aren't necessarily danger, but they do cause fear. When you experience that emotion over and over and over and over again, and you kind of just let it overtake you, you don't fight back against it, you don't push back on it, you don't reframe the fear, you don't use any psychological techniques to overcome the fear, well, guess what happens? It becomes easier and easier and easier to feel fear. Now, what most of us do is we take the concept behind the everyday means everyday philosophy, and for those who might not be familiar, to me it just means, what are your daily standards? I believe that you are your daily standards. You're not who you were, you're not who you could be. You are who you are today in the present moment based on the daily decisions that you make. It's not enough to work out every once in a while, be disciplined every once in a while, help others every once in a while. That's not really your essence or your character. That's not who you are. Those are just some things that you do every now and then. But who you are is something totally different. But once you turn those into daily standards, now all of a sudden that becomes a piece of you. That's just your natural state. It's a part of your essence of being itself. See, I believe that we can harness that power to build ourselves into something absolutely phenomenal. I mean, think about it. If you work out every single day, if you read every single day, if you work on developing yourself every single day, if you work on overcoming your fears, your anxieties, your insecurities every single day, sooner or later, that becomes a part of your identity. I'm the kind of person that just does the work to be able to overcome these things. I'm the kind of person who's brave and courageous. I'm the kind of person who's disciplined and hardworking. I am that type of person, no matter the circumstance. Why? Because I don't only do it on the days that I feel like it, I do it every single day, despite the way that I feel, despite the current environment, despite the circumstances, despite what life might throw at me, despite other people's opinions, because I am who I am. And this is a part of me. That's what every day means every day is all about. Now, what a lot of people will do is that same idea, that same concept in the negative direction. What do I mean by that? Well, let's go back to our psychology example earlier. If you allow yourself to feel fearful every single day without doing anything, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having anxiety or depression or anything like that. I mean, I went through all of that. If you don't know my story, go back, watch some of my older videos, because Lord knows that I was the poster child for that stuff. It's okay to experience those things. It's not okay to self-perpetuate those things. It's not okay to sit there and self-loathe and say, yep, this is just who I am. This is just how everything always goes for me. I'm never going to change. That's your fault at that point. You're making a conscious decision to not intervene on the pattern and the programming that's running subconsciously in your own mind. You're not even in control of your own life. You're on autopilot and you're not doing anything about it. That absolutely 100% is your fault. But watch what happens. If you continually do things like that every single day, or let's take a fitness example. If you every day know that you probably should work out, at least something, right? Go for a walk. I mean, for goodness sakes. And every single day for 90 days in a row, you go, I'll get to it. It's not that important. Whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to train yourself to say, you know what, just like the myelination in your brain, just like your muscles get trained, you're going to train your own psychology, your own spirituality, your own essence to say, I'm not that important. I'm not worth taking care of. I'm not disciplined. I'm not hardworking. Because remember, your soul and your spirit will believe some of what you tell it and all of what you show it. And if you're sitting there in the mirror looking at yourself going, yep, this is going to be my year. I'm going to be tough guy now. I'm going to get disciplined. I'm going to figure it out. And then you let yourself down on a daily basis. Come on, man. What do you think's going to happen? You can kid a kid, fool a fool, con a con, but you can't lie to yourself. And so your own spirit's sitting there going like, I know you a lie. So what do you expect to happen? Sooner or later, that now becomes your identity. And of course it self-perpetuates. You will never act out of alignment with who you believe yourself to be for a long period of time. It's just not going to happen. If you believe yourself to be successful, I dare you to be broke for 10 years straight. It's not going to happen. If that's genuinely who you believe yourself to be, and you act in accordance to that, if you actually play out that belief in real life via your behaviors, your decisions, your actions, there's no chance that that lower negative state is going to last for a very long time. But the same thing, again, is true on the flip side. The same philosophy that I'm talking about, every day means every day, your essence of being, your identity, your character, that goes both directions. So again, if you end up having an identity because of your past actions of being somebody who disappoints yourself, of being somebody who's unreliable, of being somebody who does not follow through with their commitments, of being somebody who's lazy, of being somebody who's unsuccessful, if that becomes your identity, try and see how long you can act out of alignment with that identity. You do a morning routine, you have a cold shower, you go work out, you might do it 3 days in a row, you might do it 8 days in a row, you might do it 20 days in a row, but I guarantee you it's not going to last. Why? Because you think that you're playing yourself. You don't even think that that's really you. And what I want you to do in this video is just wake up to the fact that the real you is the better you. See, what happens is the real us is like way up here. Like the version of us that we were created to be, that we're capable of being when we max out our potential is all the way up here. Most of us live down here. But the brain says, because I've spent so much time here, this is what feels normal. This is what feels comfortable. This is what feels safe. And so I'm going to do everything in my power to stay right here because this is what I know. Your brain thinks this version of you is foreign, thinks this version of you is alien, thinks this version of you is strange and uncomfortable, maybe a little scary because it pushes you beyond what it knows to be true currently. You have to have enough belief in yourself to have a conscious intervention on the patterns and programming that's running in your mind right now to say, you know what, this ain't the real me. It's where I've been for a little while, but that's not the true me. The true me is up here, and I owe it to myself and everybody else around me to go from here to here and close that gap. Hey, I hope that you enjoyed this video. My name is Brandon Burns. Don't forget that every day means every day. And until next time, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and share this with somebody who needs to hear the message. Love y'all, man. Peace.